They voted for bad investments. Which way is it?
No,
did they vote for bad investments, Mike, or did they vote, for good investments? What did they vote for? And last but not least, no one has ever received a favor from my office for a nickel of contribution. So let's just end that right now.
They voted on individual investments. They didn't know that the money managers recommending those investments were not picked for their abilities, but were in fact picked because they supported his political aspirations. There's no question about this. Read the Times, read the Daily News. This is exactly what happened. And Bill, if you should just admit what really did happen here.
What really happened is the city's pension funds have done well. We've outperformed the other large public pension funds in this country, and your people have voted for each and every investment. Why? Because they were good investments. And again, no one has received a favor from my office for a campaign contribution ever, and they never will.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. I just, before we go to the lightning round, I just would like to remind the audience, please, that we must be respectful of each of these candidates that is appearing here tonight. If we cannot be respectful, then we're going to ask the NYPD to remove you, because we cannot have the heckling and so on. We're trying to move on with this debate. And so now it is time to move to the lightning round, where I will ask questions that can only be answered with the words yes or no by the candidates. Now, I want to be clear, candidates.
I hate this.
I want to be very clear.
I hate this.
No explanations, yes or no, and you are required to answer the question. So I guess we'll start with you, Mr. Mayor. Do you exercise daily?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
No.
Mr. Controller, would Rudy Giuliani be a good governor?
No.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, have you ever cheated in golf?
Never.
Mr. Controller?
No.
Mr. Controller, should there be a public option in any national health insurance plan?
Absolutely.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, should more troops be sent to Afghanistan?
Yes, but that's not a topic for a one-word answer. There's lives on the line here. This is not cute.
Okay. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson, is Pedro Espada a better majority leader of the state Senate than Joe Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Bloomberg?
No.
Mr. Bloomberg, should film director Roman Polanski be in prison?
Yes.
Was that?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson, does a Big Mac have more than 600 calories?
Let me check. No.
Mr. Mayor?
I'll go along with Bill. No.
Mr. Bloomberg, do you consider a family that is worth more than $1 million to be rich?
Yes.
Mr. Controller?
Yes.
Mr. Controller, have you ever had a manicure or pedicure?
Not recently, but yes.
Mr. Mayor?
No.
Never?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Do it myself.
The final lightning round question of the night goes to you, Mr. Mayor. We start with you. Has President Obama done enough for gay rights?
No.
Mr. Controller?
He's been there 9 months. Yes.
So the answer is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that concludes our lightning round, and now it is time for what we call the cross-examination. And we're going to try and handle this here. That's when each candidate gets the opportunity to ask a question of his opponent. Mayor Bloomberg, we start with your question.
We have brought crime down to record lows. We've built an organization that I think is protecting us from terrorism. Bill, I don't understand why you said the first thing you'd do if you got elected is fire Ray Kelly. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I had said that what I would do, I believe in bringing your own team to the table. So I said that I would replace all commissioners. All commissioners would be replaced under Thompson administration. I'd bring my own team to the table. I've seen in the past where others have brought somebody else's team to the table. It doesn't work as well. So I believe in bringing my own team to the table.
Somehow or other, I just think crime in the streets and terrorism are too important to look for supporters. You've got to look for the best, and we have the best.
And thank you very much, Mayor Bloomberg. We now turn, so you're pleased with his response? Okay. We now turn to Mr. Thompson for his question.
Mike, you were a Democrat who became a Republican to run for mayor. You again switched parties to run for president. When that didn't work, you attempted to become the vice presidential candidate on John McCain's slate, running against Barack Obama. When that didn't work, you came back and changed term limits, even though you had promised not to. And now you've given the Independence Party and Republican parties $500,000 to buy their lines. You talk about progress, not politics. How do you explain that to New York, the people of New York City? Doesn't that look like politics, and politics at its worst?
Well, Bill, I can follow the chronology. I grew up and was a registered Democrat in Boston and then in New York. I did not have the opportunity to run in the Democratic primaries, so I became a Republican. They were nice enough to offer me the opportunity to present myself to the public in the general election. They were helpful, and they gave me an opportunity to become mayor and try to change the city for the better. I became an independent when I was in the situation, had nothing to do with running for president, and I don't think I was ever seriously considered as a vice presidential candidate, no matter what the papers say. But I became an independent when it became obvious to me that if I'm going to work with both sides of the aisle, in Washington and in Albany and New York, being an independent better reflected my nonpartisan views and gave me an opportunity to do what you have to do if you're going to make progress. We've got to get votes in Washington and Albany and in the City Council from both sides of the aisles. And what matters to me is those votes that will do what's right for this city. That's my job. I don't have the option of doing anything else. I can't be partisan. I don't think the mayor should ever be partisan. As LaGuardia said, there's no Republican or Democratic way to pick up the garbage. And I can tell you, you're not going to get legislation through either Washington or Albany or the City Council that's controversial and that really we need desperately, unless you can rally people from both sides of the aisle. So being an independent really gets that opportunity for me, and it fits my lack of partisan interest.
It just isn't the party. It's the expenditure of dollars to help to buy lines, to buy the Republican line, to buy the Independence Party line. At each and every level, it hasn't been about the people of New York City, it's been about you. Don't you consider the purchasing of those lines politics at its worst?
I didn't buy anybody. I will support people on both sides of the aisle if they will vote for the things that are good for New York City, whether that's mayoral control of the schools or a tax package or a budget in Albany that helps us, whether that's working on public health issues or immigration that I feel so strongly about in Washington. I will support those people who do what's right for New York City, and I'm not ashamed to do so. That's exactly what I should be doing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Thompson. It is now time for a second round of questions from our panel. And we begin again with Brian Lair, who has a question for Mayor Bloomberg. Brian?
And thank you again, Dominic. Mr. Bloomberg, you've said that the rezoning of New York City is one of your proudest accomplishments, yes, right alongside education. And yet many New Yorkers also feel that the city is uglier as a result of all the high-rise condos going up, and many feel that they've been displaced from their homes by gentrification.